Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chela Time, where four friends talk about their thoughts with a drink in hand. If you're new to the podcast, subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Chela Time Podcast for more content. My name is Cesar.
My name is Diego.
Hey everybody, I'm Joel.
And I'm Peter.
What are you guys up to?
I'm chilling, big man.
Recording.
All right, so who's...
just recording this podcast.
Joel, you have a drink in a jar, mason jar, and I'm curious now.
I actually ran out of my mics. I have been completely dumbfounded with all the homework I've had, and I ran out last podcast. I drank the last two I had. So this is Squirt and Bucanas, just old reliable.
There you go.
Dude, yes, sir.
Well, we've been taught since little kids.
I have to say, if you do that often, if you get like 5 or 6 in, you're going to pass out. You're going to get murdered.
Oh, it was like... So it's a pretty big mason jar. I think I filled it up with that much about of Bucanas. Maybe that's a lot. But to be fair, I did fill it up with Squirt, so it's like...
he's good. He's good.
Oh, okay. Let's round out what we're drinking, and then I want to get into a story with Pedro, with how I too got fucked with that. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I'll go next. I'm drinking Corona Premier. It's backwards every time.
Premier?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't paid attention to what the normal Corona has, but I meant to get normal Corona at Circle K, but I got whatever was there. I thought it was all the same, but I got Premier, so it's good. It tastes like Corona, so that's what I'm doing.
All the same.
That's
all right, yeah.
I'm just having a little bit of Seagrams. That's about it, Chief.
Seagrams?
The usual.
Pedro, how much are those? Like, how much do they come with?
Fuck. This one comes with 12. The canned ones like these, comes with 12, and I think it costs like $14 at Fry's. Like they're really inexpensive, honestly.
That's true.
I don't know. I can't drink those. I've tried the mics and then those Seagrams. You've always tried to get me into those. It feels too much like juice. Like I don't get
it's like juice. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
That's kind of it. That's what it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I use it for, because I don't want to know that I'm sipping alcohol. I'd rather just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Okay. All right.
He just wants it to like creep up on him and just kill him.
Yeah.
I love peepers.
Just come from behind and break his back.
Sadly, I'm not drinking today. I caught a cold during the week, and I'm still getting over it, and my throat has been really taking a beating. So I kind of just want to lay off and not drink, just sip it on some water.
Oh, shit. It's not the Rona.
Look at you.
No, it's not. I'm fine.
He's dead. He's gonna die. Wear a mask. Wear masks, you freaking psycho.
Right now?
People have stopped wearing their masks outside. I swear, the second the election finished, people gave up on masks, and I don't understand it.
And
thought you were going to say mask.
Cases are rising.
And that's why we're in the second wave.
Yeah,
second wave.
For sure.
It's worth
I think the CDC's already said, hey, please don't travel for the holidays. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, we're still going to do it.
So I saw, because Zoom, like, if you're, whatever establishment you're with, either that be school or your job, they usually pay for a license, and that's where you get, like, unlimited streaming. And I didn't know this because ASU just, I just like, hey, download it. All right, fine. I didn't know that they actually budgeted how much time you could get per session. But it turns out that for free accounts, Zoom actually extended the 40 minutes to unlimited so that people could do Thanksgiving over Zoom. So I'm like, I think they're like, please, don't come over to Grandma's house and
yeah, people are still gonna do it.
I've seen that too. I saw that. I think it was on Google News, and I was like the only thing I took out of that was, wait, like free users have to pay after like 40 minutes. I was like, what the hell? Because I mean, I don't think I've ever used Zoom. I've always used either WebEx or Teams, but they're job related. So, well, not Teams, but yeah, like I've used both of those, and of course, you don't think like, oh, with the corporation, they're licensed for unlimited usage, like full 8-hour days. I'm just like, damn, like that would suck. That sucks that people have to pay, a fee to go over a certain limit.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. But
and speaking of limits, so Google has always been real MVP with Google Photos. If you upload in high resolution, it doesn't take away from your quota. Well,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that starting June 2021. Even high resolution start counting to your 15 gigabyte quota, and I'm like, oh shit,
We're all fucked.
that's not cool.
I'm gonna get asked, dude.
And I think if you own a Pixel, obviously, and if you don't know what a Pixel is, it's a Google phone. You're good. Like I think you're good. You still keep that unlimited storage, but if once June hits of next year and you don't have a Pixel, you're basically screwed.
Yeah, and actually, it doesn't affect pictures that you've uploaded prior to that. So it's like they have some of the code saying, "Hey, if the date is past this date, count it in that motherfucker's storage."
Dude, every day it's just I'm getting more and more reasons to build an ass.
Yeah,
Just,
NAS. Sounded like you said ass.
Yeah, you said
They
ass.
said build an
NAS, network attack storage.
Yeah,
Not gonna build an ass.
in my in my school Google Drive, because I get unlimited through my university. I've actually used up half a terabyte. So
Yeah, you don't think about it. You add up that storage, man. It comes in handy.
yo, 4K pictures don't come cheap. All right,
Yeah.
especially when you need to back them up.
Too much space.
Speaking of limits, so this was around, I think it was for my birthday, for my 21st. And if I remember correctly, you came by, Pedro.
Oh, I remember.
I wouldn't say it was on your birthday.
No, it wasn't on my birthday. But it was in celebration of my birthday. It was only Pedro. I know, Cesar, you weren't there, and then Joel wasn't there either. And basically, the goal was just to get as drunk as I could, because I could now. And I remember by that point I had 2 bottles of whiskey, and one that was given to me.
God damn, bro.
Well, he didn't down.
I didn't finish both. I didn't finish both.
Oh, you were okay.
Oh.
All right.
But I nearly
like-
did. But
I was like, my
you
guy.
dead?
So okay. I mean, listen. So by this point, I only had 2. I had one that was gifted to me by Pedro, and then one that was gifted to me by my brother-in-law. And they're both really, really good, super similar, where they had this like smooth vanilla taste where like I could, oh, you know what? I think I still have some of each. So I might whip them out in a minute. I shouldn't, but I might. But basically, they're both super full, and we had bought Squirt, and it's because you mentioned Squirt that I have this vivid flashback. So I had Squirt and I had Dr. Pepper and ginger ale. Joel, for you,
Ginger ale's bomb.
if you love ginger ale,
Ginger ale is OP.
dude, get any whiskey, mix it with ginger ale, you're gonna have a hell of a time. Like I did, because
Canada Dry. So good.
dude, yes. Like I started with like a couple, right? Next thing I know, I'm like 5 glasses in, and by a glass I mean like your basic, like 6-inch glass, like this big. And I'm just drinking and drinking and drinking, and we're eating. And at some point, I realized I'm like half the bottle down. Now the bottle itself, for scale, it's maybe about 8 inches in terms of length. Or I mean, I should probably just go get them, but whatever.
Yeah, it'd be a whole lot easier.
8 inches.
You have a ruler? Oh, you know
Literally.
what? I'll just grab them. Someone
Dude,
stall real quick.
like when I'm 3D designing, I'm like, this should be about 3 centimeters. I'm like, wait, how big is that? I need
Yeah.
to see it in space.
God damn, dude. Squirt in any liquor. It's just such a fucking perfect combination.
Squirt is awesome, dude. I love
Squirt is just amazing, dude. You can't go wrong with that shit.
Me growing up, my dad isn't really a big drinker, but every holiday, more just really just Christmas and New Year's, because that's when we would get together with our extended family. These motherfuckers would buy like 15 squirts and like 5 bottles of Bucanas, and they just start drinking. And so me as a kid, it's like my dad isn't an alcoholic, but that's the time I would see him drink. And so that's kind of to me when I was like, hey, somebody's drinking, to me was squirt Bucanas. That was kind of like, that to me was a drink.
Squirt that Bucanas.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
That's why I said old reliable, because growing up, that's all I saw.
Yeah. So I have the bottles here. This is the first one that was gifted to me by Pedro. It's called the Walcott. It's backwards, but you can look it up, Google it. So now look at where it's at. Look at where the whiskey's at. I haven't touched this. I think I've only drank out of this maybe once or twice since that night. And on that night, it was like right here. And I got so I was getting there. Yeah.
Oh my god!
On it, dude. He made some progress on it.
So that's
I've seen this. I've seen him drink, dude. He drinks like a monster.
That's Walcott, and this is the Crown Royale that was gifted to me by my brother-in-law. Now look at this. This one I've touched more often because I really like this one.
That one's really nice.
And maybe I think last time it was probably up to here, but this one, this same thing. It was like I drank probably this much out of the bottle. So much of it with squirt over the course of the night that like at some point Pedro was just like, "Are you good? Like, dude, you should probably like limit yourself." But it was all kind of in this vibe of like, "Oh, but it's your 21st, like."
Yeah.
Get super drunk. Fuck it. Let's just drink. Let's drink. Or really, it was just me because, I was in my apartment. I could sleep. And at some point, like, this was the drunkest, the most drunk I've ever gotten was that night. And I think it was maybe the weekend after my birthday, or the weekend of. And I, like, vowed the very next morning, I felt so sick. Like I had plans to go out and see my sister. I had plans to like just like do run errands and whatnot. I couldn't. Like I woke up and it was just like, oh, this feeling hasn't gone away. And I just but I didn't throw up because for one, I hate throwing up. So I'm not gonna like stick my fingers down my throat. And in hindsight, if you've ever gotten that badly drunk and you wake up the next morning still feeling like that, best case scenario, you may as well just put the finger down the throat and let it all go out. But I just remember I think I took like a massive shit, like the worst shit I've ever had in my life, because alcohol fucks with your shit. And I remember like, oh yeah, heavily it fucks.
It does, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, I've never gotten to that point, so I can't really speak for it. So
yeah, at some point you'll probably get there, because I at least I know Pedro knows what I'm talking about. But
to be fair, I get constipated as hell when I'm like that drunk. I don't shit for like.
I don't have you those. Guys are the only ones who probably have like bowel problems.
Yeah, man.
I think
that's fair.
I'm a very large
thing. So,
because I drink just as much as you guys. I want to say just as much as Diego. I've never had that issue.
Yeah, to be fair, it's probably my bowels. But yeah. So I'm on the toilet and I'm just kind of like when you were a kid and you just ran around, like you ran in circles or you spun and then you're just laying on the floor for a minute and everything's just spinning and spinning and spinning. It was like that constantly. And I'm just like, this is bad. Like, this is terrible. And I just remember like the whole day I laid on the couch with like a full gallon of water and I just kept I drank like 2 gallons of water that day because I was just to make myself feel better. And I didn't actually feel better till the evening that day. That's when I finally was just like, okay, I actually don't feel sick. I don't feel dizzy, but I still feel very just tired and sore. The one thing I learned that night was that for whatever reason, even though I didn't do any type of like physical activity, my body was super sore. It was like it was like as if I'd done a full workout. And I was just like, this is terrible. And from that day on, I didn't drink whiskey for months after. I mean, it must have been like 2-3 months until I touched any drop of whiskey because I was so disgusted by it. But in a way, I'm almost thankful that I did that. Like thankful that I went through that experience and felt sick and like didn't have a good time the next morning because I haven't gotten that drunk since. And I don't plan on ever doing that again. So I'm just, and like I've gotten close to that. I've gotten, there's been nights where I'm just like, holy shit, I had a lot. But
Whoopsie doozy.
like never like that day where I was just like, I wanted to die. I was just like, oh God,
Oh my God.
it was just so bad.
You know what I thought you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna. I don't know for what occasion we were at your house, at your apartment, where you guys were previously at. It was me, everyone was there. Was Joel there? You fell down. You wanted Dr. Pepper. Remember Pedro? He wanted Dr. Pepper, and and
Oh my God! Yes.
what holiday was this? Was this Christmas?
It was after Christmas.
Mm,
Wasn't it our Christmas? Like our Christmas?
Yeah.
oh, it was our Christmas. We had our Christmas before or afterwards. I think it was before.
Afterwards.
After,
It was afterwards.
Whoa. Okay.
It was afterwards.
Afterwards, and yeah, I remember we went over to you guys' place and we were having a celebration for Christmas, and we had our own little tree and we had our own little presents and stuff like that, and we were all drinking, and we were having a good time, so we were drinking a lot, and I think Diego had a little bit too much, but then he wanted to go inside. We were outside drinking, and then we saw him go inside, and he was like, "I want Dr. Pepper," and me and Pedro. Were you there, Joel? You were there, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and then we all went inside, and then he kept on saying, "I want Dr. Pepper," and then Pedro was like, "All right, man, all right, we're gonna give you the Dr. Pepper," and fuck, I don't remember I don't know what happened.
I looked away seriously for a second, and I looked back, and he's on the fucking floor.
He literally just like tumble. You know what I'm saying? Like timber.
Yeah,
I think I was closing the
screen door.
Screen door, yeah. And I just hear, dud, 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 dud. And you just see everybody laughing, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? You see Diego on the floor.
the funniest thing to me was that he had a cup. He had the cup with soda, right? He did not let go of that bitch. He did not spill it. He was falling, and he was like, he had it up, balanced.
So Dr.
He's
Pepper,
like,
dude, it's sacred, bro.
yeah, it's sacred for this motherfucker.
That's how dude, listen, Dr. Pepper for one is my favorite. And like in that moment, because I recall, like, I don't recall the tumble, but I recall like the cup. And I just remember thinking, God, if I spill this, I don't want to have to clean this up. So I'm like, you know what? In order, like, I'll fucking break a leg, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'll break my arm on this impact as long as I don't spill any soda. I'm fine. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
And I remember we all turned around and we saw you, and we were just like, "What the fuck, man?" And then I don't know, we were all drunk too. So I saw him on the ground, and he kept on saying Dr. Pepper, and then I just saw that shit. And I just couldn't hold it in. I was just fucking dying. Like I had trouble breathing afterwards. Like, and then so our girls were outside, and they were just hearing all this shit, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" And you're on the floor. Me and Pedro are dying. Pedro's like crying because when this guy fucking laughs, he cries.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I just couldn't breathe correctly. I thought that's what you were gonna say. I was like, oh, I think I know what you're gonna.
To be fair, I would say that's the drunkest you've ever acted. But I will say the story that you told, Diego, that was probably the drunkest you've ever been. Period.
Oh yeah, for sure, the drunkest I've ever been. And any other time before that, that was when I wasn't super used to alcohol. Like I'm so used to it now, which is kind of. It
takes a lot for you to get drunk, dude. It takes a lot for you to get drunk.
It takes a lot, and I still almost like kind of don't know if that's a good or bad thing nowadays. Like I'm just like I don't know if that I should be proud about that, but yeah, like in the beginning, especially at that first apartment, yeah, I was just like, oh, hey, we're fucking being stupid, and I've never been used to drinking at all. So yeah, it's gonna affect me pretty quickly. But no, like when it was around my birthday, like my actual 21st, yeah, my actual 21st birthday, it was just like, holy shit, like that was bad. So
Give this man a Dr. Pepper.
I've never done that since, and I don't ever plan to it like ever again. Like I drink casually now, and especially now that I can, like it takes so much now. It's just like I know what my limit is. I know, like there's I forget where I read it or where I saw it, but people have described it as like there's always going to be that voice in the back of your head or that thought to yourself of like I should probably stop. And like I listen to that instinct where I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm good now. Like I'm not gonna have any more. I'm gonna start drinking water from here. Like because honestly, I don't know how people can do that every weekend or like every day or anything like that. I don't know how people can live like that. Like
Crazy,
alcoholism.
Man.
Yeah, like
that's a problem.
Like legit alcoholics, fucking insane to me. Like the concept of waking up with shots and ending the night with shots to go to bed, like nah, I could never.
Jesus, did you hurt yourself when you fell? By the way.
Yeah, he fucked his shit up. I remember. No, I remember the next day you were complaining about something.
Oh, probably that was probably sore. But I mean, at the end of the day,
fish from SpongeBob. He's like, my leg.
my leg.
That makes me remember a Facebook video I saw this week. It was about we're gonna show it, but it's pretty much a guy. He looks like he's some sort of a chiropractor. I don't even want to call him a chiropractor because what he did to this. He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
Not to take away from the story, of course, but like in my head, he's just a dude that the chick asked, like, "Hey, can you do this to me real quick?"
Or like maybe like she was at a market and she was like, "Oh, my back has been hurting a lot," and he pulled up and he's, "Oh, really? Like I do this. You know, like when people are looking for jobs and they'll do anything for like money." Yeah, like because I don't know why, but I look at this video and I'm like, this happened in Mexico. That's why I say a market. There's no way that this happened in the U.S. And if it did happen in the U.S., Jesus Christ,
man in jail. Jesus Christ.
No, yeah,
I still see it probably happening in the U.S.
Oh yeah, it could happen in the U.S.
It could happen, but I mean, I don't know.
Será su problema la cadera. Relajada y tranquila. Cuéstese tantito. No se vaya a desmayar nomás. Llore, no se preocupe. ¿Algún accidente que haya tenido? No. ¿Nunca se cayó? Sí. ¿De niña?
With COVID or anything, I feel like there's like a number that you call and then they just show up.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy probably like listed himself on Facebook or something and came in and pulled the name.
Well,
let him explain the thing.
Yeah. So what he does, I don't even know how to explain it. He does some sort of like movement and he puts this lady's back or head to the back and he puts his knee on her back and he bends her and he just uses his knee as leverage and and she just suddenly goes into pain. And, by this time, we'll either have the video rolling by this time.
I can demonstrate with this.
There you go.
Perfect. That's perfect.
She is on her knees, so her back is, she's still straight. Her neck is here. He kind of straightens it out over here, grabs from here, right? And so what I'm thinking is like, oh, he's going to probably pull on her neck, try and pop it. That was my instinct. I feel like maybe that was your guys' instinct. But he grabs and he pulls, but he keeps pulling. And what he does is he pulls and then pulls downward. So the lady's back shoots in an arc and then he collapses it more. And she starts screaming in pain. And yeah.
This is so
what could we expect?
Sure.
I'm like, God damn. Like, I thought he was just gonna kind of pull and probably like, loosen up
do
her
something.
neck or something. But the fact that he pulls in, and then kind of just like, I'm like, God damn.
Dude, poor lady, man. She instantly starts crying. And she's like,
he fucking pats her on the back, like, you'll be fine.
Sana culita rana. What the fuck, bro? She's over here like
What's
dying.
on that shit?
She's dying. And he has the audacity to be like, "Did you hurt yourself when you were little? Like, did you fall? Any injury? Like, yeah, bitch,
No,
the one you
bitch.
just gave me."
Well, yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
I wouldn't be
Cesar-
surprised, dude, if like, sorry, Diego, if like the cartilage between the discs was so compressed that it just fucking shot out, and now she's like, her vertebrae are touching. Now that lady's
Dude.
got permanent back damage.
she's got a herniated disc and she should be paralyzed. Like she's probably fucking dead. Caesar tried to defend this fucker. He was just
Yeah.
like, okay, so listen, the way that Caesar first explained this to us was like, yeah, so I saw this video of this guy popping this girl's back. You know when you have this giant relief of pain and you start crying.
No, I was saying, hold on, let me
No,
explain
this
what
is how
I
you
meant.
started off, Caesar.
Yeah, let me explain what I meant though.
Relief and she's crying, and we watched the video,
And I was like, okay, maybe I can get it, right?
yeah, this guy
No.
fucking paralyzes this woman. And I'm
Yeah, but you know, like there's when people crack your back. What I was trying to say is when people crack your back, some people are like, "Oh, it kind of hurt. That hurt, but it felt good at the same time." That's what I meant. But I was like, I'm not saying that this man didn't hurt this woman. No. He for sure like broke her soul, man. Like you can hear it, and like the scream she lets out is just horrible, man. It like I don't know.
She's like a fucking masochist or something like that.
Yeah, and
I love pain.
but what I also found funny was in the beginning of the video, she's like laughing and stuff. Like, so we know that this woman did not expect what happened to her.
He didn't even tell her to get ready.
Right? There's no like, okay, you know, you want to say did you get your legal
I went
straight?
to the chiropractor. He's like, all right. He's like, give me a countdown, and I'm like, 3, 2, 1, and I inhale, and he's like, and I'm like, I was ready. This lady was like,
Yeah, you know, and it kind of, I found it like, it hit me a little home because I'm going to the chiropractor right now because of my accident. And I'm just like,
to you, bro.
I'm just like, I'm kind of happy about the chiropractor that I have, man. I mean, he cracks me like a pretzel, but he doesn't crack me that way.
Caesar, I will fix you in 2 seconds with this method. Easy peasy.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you,
No. Jesus, man. Like, what do you,
So you say it hurts when you lean forward. I'll make it hurt when you lean back.
seriously, that video is disturbing for the reason that you just said, where the woman in the beginning's just like, oh, haha, you know, we're doing this. I'm gonna get my back popped, and it's gonna be funny. You know, it's probably gonna be loud or whatever. And she's just so easygoing at the beginning, and she looks normal. Like she just gets on her knees, totally ready for it.
yeah.
And this fucking guy is just like he basically has her in a chokehold. Like,
Which should be banned, by the way.
seriously, like there is like Joel said, there is zero warning, zero countdown. You would think like, okay, you're ready.
She just grabs her, man.
He just grabs her and he's just like, God. She's like, not only does she bend backwards where you can kind of see the stomach pop out and like her back like really shift, it's hard to look at. It's hard to look at. And then it's immediate tears and immediate pain. She's like,
Yeah.
she just
kind of wish.
it's so
Dude, you know what I was thinking? Have you guys seen the meme? It's like when you go to the doctor, but the card gets declined, and he just starts punching the shit out of the foot.
Yeah.
it's like at that moment, like he realized that the card didn't go through, and he's like, "Bitch,
she just had like
make me waste my time."
back surgery where she could walk again, and he's just like, "Oh, your card didn't go through. I'm gonna have to kill you now." Like, poor woman.
Yeah. So I kind of wish the video was longer. I wanted to see what the conversation was. Yeah, the aftermath, right? And there's multiple things, so many questions. So many questions I have.
Yeah, that one.
The person recording the video, there wasn't an initial question like, "Yo, that didn't look right." Like the person just looked like it was normal behavior. Like, no, that's normal. So I'm like, okay, is the person recording? Is that person with the guy, or is that a person recording that's like, oh, I know this person that's getting like this done to her, and I want to see her reaction. So so many questions, man.
That has to be the woman's homie, because there's no way that, say he was legitimate business, because again, in my head, he's just a homie being like, hey, let me crack your back real quick. So it has to be like someone with the woman, right? Like on her side, because there's no way. What's your theory, Joel?
All right, if it's like, suppose it's her sister, her daughter who's recording, and sees her mom go under this, like she would have been like, "Hi, pendejo, what the fuck?" Like goes out to help her mom. The camera would have shaken up. This dude is locked in, fucking autofocus.
Money shot,
like,
man.
He's like, yo, he's about to ruin his whole career. And like even after, like, there's no shake. And I'm like, someone here is on that dude's side, because
right.
If it was on like the mom's side or the woman's side, if it was her kid, they should have been worried.
That's what I'm saying. I think the person recording is on the guy's side, and it's probably the guy like saying, "Hey, I want you to record this so I could use this as promo or something for like, look, I know how to do this stuff." Because obviously, when you say like, "Hey, I know how to do this stuff," people are gonna be like, "Yeah, sure you do." Like, no, yeah, look, I have videos of me, breaking people's backs.
He probably recorded it, but he didn't probably show the beginning. The beginning is probably like, "Okay, do you agree to the terms and conditions?" He's like, "You agree you won't sue me?" He just fucking cropped that part, so like when he like gets sued or something, he's like, "Look, this is this is proof. She agreed to the terms and the conditions.
She signed the waiver.
You gotta read it, bro. You gotta read the fine print."
She signed the waiver, man.
It's the fact that the guy's face after he, basically almost murders her. He has this look of like when you drop something and it breaks and you're like, "Oh shit." He has that look. He has that exact look of like, "Oh fuck, my bad." And it's in this case, he broke a woman's back, and this woman's just like fucking dying in pain over here. It's
in my head.
It's horrible.
And
like
the way he looks, the way he looks to me, is he feels no sympathy towards this woman. Like if you look at it right after, he's like, "No, you're fine. Chill, walk it off, pussy." You know what I'm saying? But like, he literally broke it off.
Jesus.
She's on the floor like aching, and he's just like, "Quit being a bitch."
You know what? I looked at it. Being the older brother, whenever I would hit my brother, like accidentally, but I would hit him too hard, and I'd be like, "Oh fuck!" I hit him a little too hard, and I would try to make him laugh, or be like, "No, don't tell dad," or something. Or like, hi, that was a joke. So I don't get my ass kicked. So that's how I saw it. He was trying to be like, oh shit, all right, let's get you down,
bro. Then he has the audacity to like ask, "Did you fucking get injured like when you were little?" And she's like, "No," and she ends up responding, "Yes." No, she said, "Did you ever fall like in the weeks prior?" And then she's like, "No." And then, well, obviously he has to find. He's like, "Crap, I have to like find some leverage. Did you ever fall when you were a child?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Yep." Like, come on, dude, what the fuck?
Hold on, this woman like is just answering questions at random to get to live, because as far as she knows, this dude's gonna snap her neck at this point.
He's just agreeing to him.
She's just like, "Ah."
Well, yeah, man. She's like, she literally, I can't. Her eyes are just shut, and she's like, so she has like this. Yeah, she's in pain, man. I don't know, man.
Fucking help me! Like,
I don't know how much Eisenhower she needs for that.
Oh my god, she needs fucking
all the icy hot in the world, man.
There's this fucking Vine. I don't know if you guys seen it, but so have you guys ever been to the nurse during like in school?
All the time, dude.
Why is it that the nurses always give ice?
Oh, I know what.
They can
so there's a. Yeah, right. But there's this one fucking video of this TikTok where it's like this. It's this guy, like he's like like someone's injured and like is gonna give medication, but he pretends to be the nurse. And he's like, no, ice.
Yeah, if we find the clip, it'll start playing now.
Solution to all the shit that happens.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I used to go to the nurse so often in school because legit I was just a pussy, and everything that hurt me like I would want something for it, right? And
damn, bro, just put yourself down like that.
It was to my knowledge that the nurse couldn't give you pills, because honestly, as a young age, I was taking like ibuprofen every other day because I needed glasses, but I refused to wear glasses. And
look at you now.
I was about to say that. Yeah, I didn't want to be the person saying it though.
I was tired of the headaches, but besides the point, she would always give me like basically a pill bottle full of ice, right? And it got to the point where I was going every single day where she was just like, she reached in her purse. I was like, fuck it, here you go. And she gave me like, I saw like
Morphine.
she gave me like, I wish. God.
This is from my stash, bitch. This is gonna cost you.
No, she was just done. She was.
I need you to
done.
bring me your chocolate pudding every fucking time you get it.
Metro, I went once, and I think my head hurt, and she was just like, "Have you tried a cup of water?" And I'm like, "No, what the fuck."
Dude, Metro every day.
Oh my!
Every day I would go to the nurse for pills. It was awesome.
Why?
Like shit, dog. I already went and bought a Coke. Like no shit. I thought I was like dehydrated or. Just,
Well,
like,
you gotta consider a lot of the kids at Metro, they were just like pinches morros de madroso la chingada, drinking Coke 24/7. Like their water was like, why drink water? I'll drink a Coke.
Dude,
In Arizona, dude. In Arizona, in the vending machine, every day.
There's a reason they got rid of it.
oh, you fucking mentioned like, oh, well, have you tried water? Oh my god, I'm so mad now. I remember going. So I had this one instance at Metro at our high school where this was like freshman or sophomore year, and I was feeling bad from like from the moment I woke up. I was just like, oh, this is not going to be a good day. Turns out it was one of the worst days. It's lunchtime, and I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts, and I have a horrible headache. And
oh shit! I think I remember this.
Yeah, I know.
my history,
We were just gone.
my history with headaches. When I have a bad headache where it doesn't go away for a couple of hours, like 99% of the time, I vomit every single time because it's.
So this thing was just like this was a migraine.
Yeah, this was terrible, and I just remember feeling like I just want to fucking like blow my head off. And I was like, I don't want to eat because that's the last thing I want right now. Like my stomach feels full.
Yeah, you want to throw up.
Yeah, I just drank in Arizona. And that Arizona was like the trigger for my stomach because this was lunchtime and I don't
Probably
know.
sugar.
Yeah, I'm sure most people can probably relate. But after lunch, we didn't immediately go into a class. We had a class called
Advisory.
I blanked out on it. And it's kind of just like you can do work, whatever.
Pizza.
We didn't do anything. So we're going to this class. We're going to this class, and on the way, like I have my hoodie on because I feel like a fucking like just like a creature of the night. I'm just like I don't feel good. Like I can't. The sunlight is burning me, and there's a trash can. Mind you, there's a trash can full of disgusting, rotting food that hasn't been cleaned out for like probably a week. Honestly, it looks like a dump. And I'm just walking up to it, and the smell as I'm walking by just triggers vomit, and I just just fucking vomit straight into this trash can that's already full of like flies and shit food, and I'm just hurling a bunch of vomit for like a solid 30 seconds, and I kneel down to the floor. The hot sun is on me. I mean, at this point, I may as well.
Oh hell no!
Seriously, like I was just like, this is it. This is how I go.
Yo, how the fuck did we do it during high school? Like, yo, the hots were hots and their colds were cold. What the fuck, dude?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
we were mightier beings back then.
It was hot.
I remember like with the backpack, dude. You take that thing off and
your back was covered in sweat, dude.
Sweat, dude.
You had like 3rd-degree burn.
You could grab your backpack like the straps and wring them out of sweat. What the fuck?
So I'm on my knees and I thought, okay, this is it. Like I'm just gonna pass out and I'm gonna be left here for dead. Like fucking seriously, like
shoots a fucking flare up in the air.
His skin starts burning from the concrete.
It was so bad. And then this kid, he was a senior at the time. I think it was his last year there. And he was in my advisory class, and he's just like he was like an all around, like he was involved with like the team, the team stuff, all the school stuff, whatever. He takes a look and he's just like, hey, tell so and so I'm going to be late. I'm going to take this kid to the nurse. And I'm like, cool, thanks, man. Like that guy, I forget his name, but that guy, like I have this memory of like him, like as like fucking God himself who doesn't exist. reaching a hand out, just like, hey, come on, let's go to the nurse. And I'm like, all right, sick. So it's like we're going through battle. Like I'm just kind of like slowly like like grunting my way. Exactly.
Like your back was broken.
Seriously, it was like that episode of SpongeBob where they go through the perfume. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's what I felt like. And then we're walking to the nurse's office, and I get in there, and it's just this like, mid 30s black woman, and she's.
I loved her.
Are you?
I don't remember our nurse.
Whoa! What the hell? Like I had a white lady as a nurse, so
They changed
nurses. Yeah,
I know you're talking about Diego. She was cool.
Yeah. A little too cool. Let me tell you why. I hop in there and I'm just like, I just threw up. I want to go home because and I I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but like you couldn't just go home. Like you had to give like hey, I'm bleeding, like I have a broken bone or some shit. You had to get
someone had to come for you.
Yeah, someone had to come for you. You had to give a truly valid reason. And I remember I had texted my mom, and she's like, "Well, what happened?" I'm like, "I just puked. I really don't feel good." She's like, "You're fine." Like, because like in hindsight, to be fair, it was like 2 hours left in the day anyway. So I'm like, "Fucking Christ, whatever." So I get to the nurse's office, and I'm just sitting there like delirious out of my mind because it's, for one, I probably got heat stroke, and I just vomited, and I have a massive migraine. And so she's just like, "All right, listen, like, I can't just send you home. I'm going to give you some medicine." She gave me 2 400 milligram tablets of ibuprofen. I specifically remember this because
that's why I loved her.
I was like, these are strong tablets. Now, for one, I already don't do good with medicine. Like when I take, like I could take one Advil, and I'm out. Like I'm like in like.
Damn, really?
Yeah, for me, for whatever reason, even like at my
I take
height,
3.
Yeah, like at my height and weight, I can take one in like an hour. I'm feeling it. And yeah, she gave me 2 super heavy Advils or whatever it was. And I remember I had to go to English class in a lab. So it was like, it wasn't our normal classroom, but we had to go to like a classroom with a bunch of computers. And I was just like, okay, so now that I'm saying that, this is freshman year. And I'm walking to this lab, and I'm just kind of like, oh shit, like, because now my migraine's gone, but I'm on drugs. I'm on drugs, and I'm just like suffering from dehydration.
He's on that Molly.
Yeah, it felt like it. And I sit in that class, and I sit in the back because I know that I feel like shit. So I'm just like staring at the whiteboard, and it's like spinning in circles, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna get through the day like this. There's no.
Dude, that's a stroke. That's a damn stroke, dude.
Probably. Who fucking knows at this point? Basically, the medicine made me so drowsy that I couldn't focus. And it made me sleepy. Hence, the drowsiness. But little did I know that same day we had like an assistant teacher, which tends to just be like an intern that will watch over the class for like, that one class period. And this was a block class, which we've mentioned before for a little bit, where it's like a block class is just, you have like 3 hour.
Are you in chemistry, Diego?
No, this was English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think by this point you had gotten out of that English class. So this was English class, and I'm just kind of like, it's going in one ear and out the other, right? With this fucking teacher. And
squeeze me.
This, oh my God, don't be there. And this little intern fuck is just looking at me, and like I'm trying to sleep because not only no, I'm not trying to sleep. I'm literally falling asleep because of the drugs, and I'm just like, oh fuck. So I'm literally, trying to put my head in my shoulder. And honestly, if it was just a teacher, I would have gotten away with it. I probably would have fallen asleep that whole class. But this little temp is like trying his hardest because he was probably interning for some fucking university, and he's walking by every row, And he looks at me and he's like, "Come on, man, you just have to, get up, wake up." And he keeps touching me, and I'm just like with every touch, I'm getting more and more aggravated, and I'm getting like, oh, just fucking leave me alone. And I just remember like, I got on the bus that day. I got on the very first bus, which you guys know that first bus is fucking terrible because it's crowded as hell and you can never get a seat. And it's like people are like shoulder to shoulder, but in a bad way where you're literally being like squished in a group of people.
Ass to ass.
And that whole, like on that ride home, I think I took a nap. Like I managed to fall asleep on the bus and not die and get murdered on my way home. But yeah, no, it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I remember you being very sensitive to ibuprofen or aspirin. I remember it was a joke I would always tell you because we would always mess with, we would always chew gum. And I remember telling you or joking around with you, I was like, I'm going to lace a piece of gum with one fucking 200 milligram tablet of ibuprofen one day, and you're going to take it and you're going to get fucked up. And you're like, dude.
You always carried a little fucking tablet, like a little bottle of ibuprofen. And so I legitimately was like, you could crush that up, put that in a stick of gum, and I'd be dead. Like, I could fucking die.
So if he was tripping out for me doing that, or me almost doing that, just for with the 200 milligram tablet, I can't imagine how this motherfucker was on 800 milligrams.
Oh, and I'm not gonna lie, halfway through I kind of forgot where I was going with that. I remember now. I was gone for like 2 days. It was like
no way.
2 days. Yeah. Do you remember?
Holy shit.
He was absent. He didn't show.
Oh, I thought you meant the drugs didn't wear off for 2 days. I was like,
no. Whatever happened to my body that day, my body was just like, yo, this guy, let's just fucking kill him. Because
it was a metamorphosis.
I got home that night and I got a fever of like 104.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, it was super bad. And I remember my mom.
COVID didn't even hit me that hard.
I come from a family of like, you have a fever? Okay, can you walk? All right, you're going to school. Like, just like that, right? And so I had this fucking fever, and my mom was like, okay, if it gets any higher, or if you feel any worse, like if you start, showing symptoms of death, like, okay, like, you're
no, you were like in like seizure temperature zone. Like,
yeah, it was high. It was really high. Yeah. I might be over exaggerating, but I remember it was super high. It was higher than like when it's enough for one of your parents, in this case, my mother, to be like, what the fuck? It's serious. Like, that it's like life or death. And so that wasn't a good sign. And I just remember being so fucking cold. Like, I was on the couch watching a movie after dinner, like still feeling horrible. And I just started shaking like uncontrollably. And I was like, oh shit, I need to go to bed. And it was like 7 p.m. Like I usually fell asleep by like fucking midnight. And I like the next morning, my mom wakes me up and she's like, are you good? And I'm just like, nah, like I can't do it. And I stayed home for 2 days. Like, I don't know, to this day, I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if it was because I let, whatever made me vomit, like sit in my body for too long, that it just took me out. But that was like, that was the worst that I've ever.
It sounds like food poisoning.
Yeah.
A really, really, really bad case of food poisoning.
But does food poisoning give you a fever?
Yeah. And I was
just makes you shit your fucking brains out.
Yeah. Like I had just vomited that one day, and then I got home and I had this horrible fever, and I had like cold sweat.
You had a flu. That was a flu.
Yeah, like something got to me, and like I was out,
dude.
Like luckily it was the end of the week, so I was out. Basically, I had like a 3 or 4 day weekend, but it wasn't enjoyable because I was just feeling the effects of whatever sickness I got. Like the worst. Like I could still vividly remember that whole experience because it was the worst I've ever gotten sick, and I'm just like,
I think for some reason in high school, I had like the worst sicknesses I've ever had, like ever recorded. And I don't know why. Maybe it's all the fucking stress that the weather put on our bodies. But
honestly, dude,
I remember the worst sicknesses that I've had, like, were in high school. I remember one time, and it's disgusting, but I think I went through like 2 toilet paper rolls, just cleaning my fucking nose out.
Oh, I thought he
I thought I was going to say something
I was
else.
gonna take a different turn. I was like, oh my god,
Remember that?
help this man.
Yeah, I was out. I remember this was junior year because I had AP English at the time, and I had an essay, and I think this was like the first like professional email I had to write saying, "Hey, could you extend it for me? I can't show up." That was like my first taste of that. Many to come. Thanks ASU.
Yeah.
But I was just dead, and I remember waking up in those mornings, dude, and I'm telling you, it was gross. Like one thing is to have your nose clogged, right? And you're waking up, and you know you got to clean it out because you've been laying there still for more than 8 hours
For days.
and you know your fucking snot is just kind of sitting there crystallizing, drying up. This thing was all over my fucking face. It was like I got shot. Honestly, it's gonna sound gay, but it looks like I got shot with cum.
Nice.
Peter, nice.
It was just like on. I think like you guys know when you're sick, it's always one nostril that's kind of worse than the other. Always.
Oh yeah, I
One
fucking
reason.
hate that, dude.
Yeah,
That's me right
it was
now.
just- that one half of the face of mine was just completely done and
Clogged.
Just snot. Yeah, just full of snot. So I had to wake up and just fucking like clean that up. And I remember that's when I recorded the absolute highest fever I had. It was, and I remember because there's a radio station for it, 104.7.
No.
Oh my god, you got it
Right.
down.
Yeah, I hit 104.7, which is like pop rap here in Arizona. Is that what that station is?
Simon?
Like rap, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think that time was the first time I slept more than like 18 hours straight. Like I woke up. I think I got home that one day because I felt very similar to how Diego was feeling. Like just that constant migraine. You feel like extremely hot, but you just like this is probably November, and you don't know what it is. You just feel off. And I remember I took a nap because I was feeling extremely tired. And I woke up like around 7. And do you guys ever have those naps where like you take a nap where you were like super tired and you take a nap, but then you feel even worse?
Yep. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like you feel sore, right?
Yeah, like sore, lethargic. But I didn't feel like that. I felt like I got trucked by like 2 NFL players. Just got fucking rammed. I was done. Like I was like, oh, what the fuck happened to my body?
What's up with that moan, dog?
It made it look wrong, but like imagine you're laying down and you wake up and you just like feel that sudden pain and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like you just feel.
I went
Oh
back
my
to
god.
I went back to sleep like at 8 and I didn't wake up until 6 in the afternoon the next day.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then I was good. I was just completely fine. But I had that extremely high fever.
Radiation poisoning. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, my mom, she got like all my like the muscle shirts, like the tank top looking ones.
Yeah.
And she would dip them in ice, like everything. And she just covered me in fucking blankets. And I still had a fever.
Dude, Mexican moms have the weirdest ways to treat you, but like, and you, as you're getting treated by these weird treatments, you're like, what the fuck? But like, they
like,
work.
they
They work,
Like,
man.
Mom, tengo
works,
frío.
yeah.
And she's like, no te tapes. Te va a dar más calor. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Which is actually bad. If you have a fever, don't cover yourself. You're actually insulating that, and it's gonna be worse.
That was always the worst thing growing up. It's just like, oh, I'm cold, and you start to get the blanket. Your mom's like, nah, don't like lean. And I'm like, but I'm cold. It's like
You're
but
fucking
why?
shivering, dude. Like your body's almost 105. Literally, a 98-degree breeze is fucking cold. So you're like, what the hell? And for my mom to put like ice bath blankets on my body, god damn, dude, that felt horrible.
I didn't know that. My mom would always cover me in like 7 other blankets when I'm sick.
That's not the way to go, Pedro.
Jesus, man, that's so much.
I felt good.
I feel good.
That's what you want, exactly, because your temperature's so high, you feel cold, so you cover yourself. Naturally, that's what you would do. But your body has a high temperature because it's literally fighting off a foreign body, so it's fighting it. So that increases your body temperature. By you increasing that, it makes it more likely for the bacteria to survive instead of dying. So what you want to do is actually cool down.
I thought of it as like sweating it out.
No,
that's how I took it as.
Because your body's already overheating for one, so you're adding more heat on top of that. That could actually kill you because
you're
your
insulating that heat.
Yeah,
it's like a hot thirst buster, bro.
There's always like a balance. Like you go to sleep that night with like no blanket on, but it balances out because it's like you're cold, but you're not that cold because your body's giving off this horrible heat.
I always sleep with like when I have fevers, and when I got COVID, I had it was just 12 hours. Thankfully, it didn't go into more than that. It was just that same day when I had a fever. It was 100.4. That was the absolute highest they got, which I still consider to be like a high light fever.
That's high.
It's high, but it's not. You won't die from it.
But I feel like a good fever, like fever, like we can start getting worried is after 103. That's where we start feeling like, okay,
you got your legal,
I never
stuff
hit that,
strained out.
But every time I do, when I do get a fever, I sleep with sheets on, and that's actually sheets. Little fucking becerros.
Dude, that'd be fluffy as fuck.
Yeah,
that'd be horrible.
No, but actually, what's fun, like what's weird, is because they're so thin, they absorb your sweat so good that when the breeze of the fan hits it, it actually evaporates your sweat because the sheet is
feels
so
cool.
Because it's disgusting, but because you've soaked up the sheet so much that when the air, when the air hits it cools you down a lot faster.
How bad I mean, you did have a high ass fever, but
I had a fever, dog. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I was like, how hot would you? I'm like, well, he had a fever, so and just said your highest fever got to 104.
That same day, I woke up like at 5 a.m, and I was drenched in sweat, and then that's when I was like, yeah, this ain't right. I think I got something a little bit more than just a sore throat.
Yeah. No, I woke up.
Yeah, what's up?
I woke up on Tuesday with a really sore throat, but I get a sore throat when I talk a lot, and I did have a lot of meetings that day. So like by the end of it, I was like, oh, this is just because I didn't drink enough water, and I spoke for like about 4.5 hours straight. So I was like, okay. And then the whole half nose thing, and I was like, oh no, I have a cold.
You know, for whatever reason, at least from what I hear from you guys, because I don't know why, but you guys tend to throw up a little bit more. For whatever reason, you guys throw up. But before the most recent time I threw up, I hadn't thrown up for like 12 straight years, and that.
Oh yeah,
you. Back when I was in grade school.
You mentioned that.
I think it was like, actually, it was the last day of school. It was in 5th grade. And I was so worried. I remember that day because I was like, Mom, am I going to 6th grade? All my friends are going to go to a new school.
Oh my God.
And so I was sick. I was like throwing up. I was throwing up hard, dude. I don't know what the fuck was happening.
Jesus, man.
But she took me to school because I wanted to know if I was passing over to 6th grade, which I did. And like that's like when I had like the one of the like the coolest, you know, like that one guy that you meet for like a month and he just becomes super cool, but like you don't hang out with him, but he's just chill as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
He was there as I'm leaving, and I'm like, hey, his name, I think his name was Jermaine. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Jermaine? He's like, hey man, you weren't here. I'm like, yeah, I'm sick. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna miss you, man. Can I sign your shirt? And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Starts crying.
Yeah. Like it was just like, man, hell yeah. You know, I gotta see Jermaine for one last time. Wherever you at, bro.
Yo, I know. I still have the shirt we were talking about. Jermaine,
I miss you.
The fucking OG. I hope
he was fucking funny.
Hope he's still alive. If he's still alive.
Oh my God, why would you say that?
I hope he's doing well. But the last time I threw up was actually a year ago. I think so. A year,
Right.
like a year and a half. And
Yeah, right.
it was weird because I'm telling you, I hadn't thrown up since then. I've been nauseous before.
It hits you different, right?
Right, yeah, but this one was like it's here. You can't like you're fighting it, that nauseous urge, but it's winning. It is beating you. And typically I'm like, oh, I'm feeling kind of nauseous, or like I've had the times where like I take like a vitamin pill in the morning when I'm fasting.
Yeah.
And so that like hits my stomach all sorts of weird. And I get really nauseous. Usually I'm able to, just keep that shit down. And I'm fine.
So aggressive.
I remember, yeah, because like I hate throwing up. And for this reason, like I hadn't thrown up in so long, but I remember the feeling so vividly. And when I do throw up this time, it was actually disgusting because what I had thought was, hey, I had a sore throat. And stupidly, I took an antibiotic without eating, and so that's actually what gave me my my nausea. And so what I thought was, hey, I'll take the pill, eat a banana. What I should have done was eat a banana, take the pill, because the pill just went straight, hit my stomach, and yeah, and so it did its stuff, and I was feeling horrible, and I downed it with the blue Powerade, and I took a shower, dude.
Nice.
And I was feeling mad, like it was crazy. I couldn't hold it down. It beat me. It just came out. And I forgot that, like, that all that fucking force that you use in your abdomen, dude, to like get it out. It's fucking tiring. Like, it felt like doing like a whole ab workout.
Yeah.
And I think I was throwing up. This was like clear morning, dude. I was throwing up, but I wasn't really throwing anything out. But I think for like a good minute or two, like my body wasn't throwing up anything, but it was just exploding
Pumping
air, just fucking going at it. And I'm like, stop, I'm not even throwing up anymore. Why am I still going? And I think I went on for like a full 5 minutes, dude, just like the water hitting me. I'm like on all fours and just throwing up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just heaving. Exactly. It's like when you see your dog, like before it's even actually throwing up, it's like, that was
hold on.
That was me.
What was that noise?
We're gonna have to repeat that, dude. That's gonna be on a loop.
You guys
really
can
kicked
loop
an
that.
old man in the balls, dude. That's what you did.
That was an old man.
Jesus.
No, I know exactly what you're describing. It's you have already thrown up everything, and at this point you're puking bile, and it's just. But your muscles are contracting anyway, and so you're just like,
Oh, it's a horrible feeling.
the worst.
And
thing.
that went on. I think I threw up, like legitimately, like Powerade and banana came out. It was blue, dude. It was fucking funny.
Blue smush.
Yeah. So the chunkiness came out first because that was the most recent thing I ate, the banana. So chunky banana came out,
Nice.
and then the Powerade was just the most concentrated blue vomit. But then that went on for like 2 minutes. And then I stopped throwing up, but I continued heaving for like another 3 to 4 minutes. And I just, like, I was beaten. I remember for like, I just stood, like, just stayed there for like another 10 minutes, just letting the water hit me, just comprehending what just happened. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, those moments when you start realizing, like, I'm done, and you keep dry heaving, like, you kind of, at least for me, like, the times that I've done that, I start kind of like, not panicking, right? But there's a sensation of like, oh my God, like, can I just be done? Like, is my body fine? Like, I just need to stop this. Yeah, that's terrible. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I think like for 3 days in a row, I felt like I did some fucking CrossFit shit.
Yeah, you
and
get
my
all
abs were
sore.
fucking done.
Absolutely. But damn, this is a good one. We talked about a lot of shit. We talked about vomit. Talked about sickness.
Some figuratively and some literal.
Some literal. A lot of drunkenness. Please wear a mask.
Some kicks to the balls like an old man because of he.
On that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this one tonight. Here, it's been a solid hour.
Whoops.
So
started talking on mute. I was on mute the entire time, right? All right. Yep. So here comes. Thank you for listening. Follow us on.
Subscribe on YouTube, please. At